Hello, my monstrosities. Hello once again. Today I bring to you a bit of a early Tyranids numbers review. Don't want to necessarily say it's meta review because it's very early on the quote-unquote meta, post Grotmas and all the changes and all the things. In fact, GW just released more changes today. But I want to talk about what we're seeing early signs of. And, a little bit of a lighter discussion. I'm not going to dive too deep on any of the things because there are already channels that do that better than me. So go ahead, you'll find them when they talk about them, all the things. But for right now, just want to give my quick thoughts and opinions on how things are looking because this got updated today. So, wanted to talk about it. Now, this is thanks to Stat Check. They have a YouTube channel. Go check it out. They also offer things like coaching and whatnot. Um, I want to put this out there that not only do I implore, because I know I get comments that are like, hey, I really don't care about what's going on in the meta, still look at it, right? Still look at things because that's just how you obtain knowledge, right? Don't write off an entire sect that you won't necessarily aim to reach at. You just still learn things from other people to do against like your friends or people at the local game store. I always try to make sure that I am presenting myself as against your friends type shit. Maybe an RTT, maybe. But like friends, local game store, that's my level of analysis, and I might give my opinions on lists and things like that, but I'm not a pro, so go listen to pros. They will tell you interesting things that you should at least consider every now and again. So, that's my spiel on that. But to the Tyranids numbers, it's kind of interesting that Assimilation Swarm, because people that are specialists tend to take Assimilation Swarm, it's the one that usually does fairly well as in terms of numbers. Because not too many people give it time of day to experiment with it. And now we're looking at a player count of 9, 43 games played, and a 60% win rate. I think. Remember when I said that Assimilation Swarm could be the best one? And, there were some chuckles. I was so serious. But, this is early. This isn't to look too deeply into it. I'm just saying right now, Assimilation Swarm is looking all as nice as I thought it would. But Invasion Fleet, excuse me, isn't. I figured this would be a good meta for Invasion Fleet. It's still hovering around 50. It's not the utmost. If anything, it's a test to the fact that our player numbers are surprisingly low. We're usually not this low on turnout, but I guess that's people that are now playing all the other new shit instead of trying to find 72 warriors. So, Invasion Fleet, it's still fine. I think it has potential to do even better in the current meta, but I think we might need a new go-to net list for Invasion Fleet. I don't know how well the John Lennon Carnifex crew is holding up right now, and I think we've established not too many people are willing to put several tiny models on the board, so the Sam Pope, Tervagon, Termagant spam might not be everybody's appeal. On going on to that, there's no unending swarm here. Like there's none. And I know damn well myself, even though I think it is still better than Synaptic Nexus. I know that's my hot take. I say that a couple of times to catch people by surprise. There's still things in it, but hey, if you want to do Termagants, probably gone. But I'm just saying Hormagaunts are another unit and Gargoyles. But beyond that, yeah, I also don't feel like putting a bunch of tiny fucking models on the board, so I won't be able to prove that point anytime soon. Well, in general. I just don't feel like proving that. So, Unending Swarm isn't here, and Synaptic Nexus is currently at the bottom with one Mad Lad going, I would assume, if my math is correct, 2 and 3. Um, no shame to that person at all. Fuck it, you actually tried, did a thing that I'm not too enthusiastic to do right now. And that's to the other point. The Synaptic Nexus already to me was a very middling Tyranids detachment. I have several videos talking about the things that I find flawed in it, what I would like to see changes. Several of those. And I've also tried to balance that out with things that I find interesting. But I know the way that the internet algorithms work, you probably have heard me say more bad things about, well, these bottom two than positive things. And that's fine. Um, but yeah, Synaptic Nexus, it was already not that great of the Tyranids detachments. It is a very why am I doing this, right? Uh, Not to say that you can necessarily do it in other places to the same degree, but it is a I have to play this in Crusher Stampede style. Or I can. You don't have to. I can play this as a Monster Mash style. That's been one of its key things, but I don't necessarily want to do Invasion Fleet either. So it's a toss and turn, and I'm gonna be honest. I think I want to see Norn Assimilator spam on Synaptic Nexus. I already like the Norns, but giving one a 5 up invuln for the turn, and then the other one -1 AP with cover probably will give you a 5 up save there too. And if you were making the 5 up invuln, the 5 up feel no pains and invasion fleet, you can make the 5 up invulns, and then you can make the 5 up fucking feel no pains out of being a Norn. But that's just something I would like to see. I don't know if we're going to see. It has some things that Synaptic Nexus. I have several gripes, and I've talked about it too much, so I'm going to move on to my thing with Warrior Bioform Onslaught. 4 players, and I don't know what the fuck players are doing right now with Warrior Bioform Onslaught. In all honesty, I know we saw um one at a tournament recently that was actually trying to bring warriors, and like I said in another video, I don't have much faith in warriors. Um, I'll leave it there because that is a soft spot apparently for people. But yeah, that's warriors, and I don't know what the other build is right now. I don't see too many people trying to replicate Jacob's build here, into which it's just use 2 squads as primers and throw our good shit in there. I haven't seen that replicated much, and if it has been replicated, maybe not to the same degree of success. I don't know. So for this one, I'm completely lost on what's going on here. Now, a word, the bad version of me would like to be like, ha 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 ha, I told you, this is not great. But the reasonable part of me is like, it's early, and I think people just need time to figure out the quote unquote build, because I do think if I can say something like Unending Swarm has play still, I do think Warrior Bioform Onslaught has a bit more play, but I do think it still needs help in some regard. And to that point, I don't know how you make Warrior Bioform Onslaught better without buffing anything in it to the point where I want to take it somewhere else, right? Vanguard Onslaught is looking Vanguard Onslaught usual, and why do I jump from one Onslaught to another? Well, like I said in a video before, the second that you buff ranged warriors, you buff Vanguard Onslaught and Synaptic Nexus. And I don't know what a good enough reason to play Warrior Bioform Onslaught is after that if you fix the core issue is that warriors don't really do shit currently. And then if you try to boost the stratagems within Warrior Bioform Onslaught, how do you keep them from making other shit absurd? Right? Like how do you focus it on making me really want to take warriors in this one detachment. But if that's not your goal, how do you keep me from not wanting to throw anything else in the detachment? And it's a difficult balance. I don't know how they're going to do it. I don't know if they intend to do it. I think my cynicism still leans that hey, this was you've played Space Marines too, right? That's where I think my cynical side lands, and it's kind of fucking winning. But I really don't know. I really don't know. I want more data on this in general to form a better opinion, a more well-rounded opinion on it. But jumping off of that, I want to talk about really quickly what we've seen out of Vanguard Onslaught that makes my heart so happy. Now, this is a detachment into which I don't know what my monstrosities um think I feel about with Vanguard Onslaught because I've released probably very mixed opinion videos, but for the most part, in some of those videos, my core point is I like Vanguard Onslaught. I really do. I don't like the builds out of it most of the time. I really, as we can see, I apparently have it out for the Warriors, right? I'm just saying, six bodies with a T4 save and a 6-inch move for 150 points, like, Um, you know, that's just that's my thing. But beyond that, I don't know how bought I am into 30 Gene Stealers either. Now, that was the only real thing you could do with this detachment before they added the keyword, but since they've added more Vanguard invaders to Vanguard Onslaught, I've been a big, hey, what about monsters that are lone up, advance and charge 10-inch move, deep strike uppy downy? And so we have somebody that, hey, Alexander, every time we see this list and somebody asks for deeper thoughts on it, they go, I was fucking memeing. I don't know if Alexander was memeing, but I'm really happy to see that if there was a meme to be had, please help me find places to get a massage between rounds because I brought a list that finishes after 1 hour. It at least did something, right? I like the list. One, is it fun? Looks like it. Two, it kind of, yeah, it's my point. I'm just saying. But jokes aside, um, I've had a reevaluation of the Trigon recently because, like many others, I was down on the fact that it lost its 3-inch deep strike. However, I think I'm slowly being brought back in on the fact that at the end of the day, it is a T10 monster with deep strike and this detachment advance and charge uppy downy early, early deep strike, whatever. With 12 attacks, hidden on threes, 9-2-3. Synapse takes it to 10-2-3. So, I think I'm just saying I've been giving it a second chance. It still remains to be determined how much of a second chance I love on that. And Molochs, I don't know where I feel about the mortal wound bombs anymore. I don't know. But at the same time, that's a fuck ton of attacks. AP2, strength 8, if I remember correctly, damage 1. That'll pick up some random bullshit. This'll pick up the bigger bullshit, and it's really fucking funny that there's like no heavy armor cracking here. Like we are faith, trust, and pixie dusting this shit off of Neurolictors, and I fucking love it. Really fucking funny. Alexander, if you see this video, thank you for the entertaining situation here, and congrats on the placement. So yeah, that's the quick one, into which Vanguard Onslaught has one of my favorites, if not my favorite. It's one of my favorites. I don't know. Sometimes my favorite switches on the day. Detachment out of the Tyranids Codex, and it was really nice to see this the other day when I was looking for shit. That we got motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking list. So, yeah, just wanted to give an overview really quickly on things that are happening. Also, before I go off on that one too, everybody's been talking really highly about Raveners lately. I don't own this many Raveners. I'll be perfectly honest. I don't know. Maybe Raveners is our next evolution of list. And just in general, because people have been really high on Raveners in the comments and everything lately. So, I have absolutely nothing against Raveners. Let's pull up the Raveners. I've got nothing against them. well, fine. You go, but you hate warriors? Yeah, but like Ravener's deep strike and have a 10-inch move. Can be a 4-up save, or they can have a gun so I can trigger surprise assault. Like, I don't know. I understand the Ravener love. I haven't had them on the table enough myself to really buy in hard into it, but fuck it. If everybody else is having fun with their Raveners, so be it. Like uppy down at 75 points, do objectives, possibly kill a thing or two, trigger some things. I'm just saying, I see it. So yeah, if you like the video, like it. Got a comment for me, comment, and until next time, peace out, my monstrosities.